late nights here at the architecture building. It won't finish loading. Honestly, I'm sad I didn't do this more often before COVID because working in the building feels so much more productive. Also, I ran into a couple people doing the same project and we got to laugh over how we're sitting there at 11 o'clock at night printing out giant posters. I'll pull it out when I'm home. But yeah, heading home now. I am currently in the computer lab by myself. It is 7 a.m. and I'm working on a project because my computer stopped running Rhino last night and would not let me use it unless I purchased a new license, which is like $90 some, so I was not doing that. So here we are, 7 a.m. Yay.
Adequate supplies at a reasonable price, analyzing interrupted finding materials.
I just finished my final presentation in my Revit class, so that's out of the way. I've already done my final presentation in my careers class, so 2 more to go. Alright, hello vlog. I wanted to jump on here because I feel like I haven't even introduced the video yet. I wanted to do a week in my life as a senior in architecture school, specifically at the University of Maryland. And I feel like the last 2 days have been pretty choppy, but that's because it's 1, final season, and 2, I just have like a lot of big projects at the moment that happen to be due or that I had to work on in the past 2 days. So on Monday, you guys saw I was working on one of my projects until pretty late into the night, and that was me finishing up my Revit model for the presentation that I did today. This is a picture of what my presentation looked like. For some reason, I had this random glitch in my topography where the subregion cast a white shadow on my lower level. So if you know how to fix that, let me know. Random thing, but let me know. Let me sort of give you a rundown. On Monday, I was getting back in the swing of school after going to Hershey Park on Sunday. My dad actually came to campus. He needed to get a dress for Olivia's formal. She's in a co-ed fraternity. I needed a nice dress because she's gonna bring the roomies to that event. It's also her birthday this weekend. Okay, I'm not doing a good job of explaining this in chronological order. So Monday, I woke up late because I spent all of Sunday in Hershey Park and got a little bit too much sun and all that. And then I spent the day basically just working on 2 assignments. I needed to get a Rhino model done for my physical modeling class, and I needed to get a Revit model done for my digital modeling class. I don't have any actual classes on Monday, so for me it's just a work day. I also had to work at Terrapin Works in the morning for 2 hours. I work for Terrapin Works every day of the week for 2 hours. That's basically all I did on Monday, was work on those assignments. Tuesday, I had an issue with my Rhino program where you get a free trial for 90 days and then after 90 days it expires. Mine expired the day that I went to Hershey Park, so when I tried to come back and do my assignment on Monday, it wasn't working. And the assignment was due on Tuesday. So I got up at 5:30 in the morning. At 7 is when you guys saw me in the computer lab, and I worked from 7 to 12:30 when the assignment was due and got it done. Tuesdays, technically I have my physical modeling class and then I have my careers in architecture class later in the day. Because we had a project due that day, we did not have the physical modeling class. It was a lab day, which is kind of like a free work period. You don't have to come into the class. And then later in the day at 4 o'clock, I had to go to my careers in architecture class, where a lot of it is just presentations. So we have a lot of guest speakers and we're already done with that, and now we're having student presentations going on. I was actually the first student to present, so I'm already done. But it's presentations on careers outside of architecture that you could get into with an architecture degree. So that's cool. And now we are to today. So it is Wednesday. In the mornings at 9:30 I have my Revit class. A lot of the time it's lecture during class, but because we're at the end of the class, now we're doing our final presentations was today. So I had to pull my board up on the screen, basically say what my challenges, successes, and things I would change for next time were, and that's about it. So now I'm pretty much done with that class. I think we have one more lecture and then we'll be done. In a couple hours, I am going to go to my laser scanning and photogrammetry class. That's not what it's called, but that's basically what it is. But also I have to do my Terrapin Works work, which is posting on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, sort of checking those notifications. I also need to contact someone in one of the clubs on campus about the workshops because I'm also the workshop coordinator. But yeah, that's my day so far. That's my week so far. I just feel like it wasn't very well explained, and we're like halfway through the week and I haven't even opened the vlog yet. So, hello. Alright, I'll see you later when I go to class. I completely forgot to film it, but I just had my last physical modeling class where we presented our designs. Here's a picture of all of the models that were presented today. Got to pick up my woodworking design, left my good, beautiful model, and he still has my 3D printed model for grading purposes. LOL, I almost just ate shit because I'm wearing flip-flops and the slate is slippery. I just had my last Revit class. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm so close to being finished with a degree from college. Alright, y'all, so I just wanted to pop in and say bye. This is kind of what a typical week for me would look like. Okay, let me be honest. I got these clips from multiple different weeks because I'm in the midst of final season, so my classes have been really irregular recently, and I wanted to make this video as close to what my typical schedule was. So yes, I generally had lectures for my Revit classes. Yes, I generally had presentations for my careers in architecture class. And yes, I did generally have lab days most of the time for my physical modeling class, and then we would just meet up and put like all of our models in a circle and sort of talk about how the process was. So I would say this was a pretty good summation of my typical week of a senior year in architecture. Yeah. So I did decide to not do studio this semester, and I did that simply because I wanted to have, well, if we're being honest, some time to enjoy this semester, and I also wanted to take a couple extracurricular classes, some electives that I wouldn't have had time for, which is where I think it's called my 3D digital documentation class. Like, I never would have been able to take that if I were in studio as well. And my physical modeling class, I really enjoyed doing that. So I enjoyed all of my classes this semester, if I'm being honest. So I'm very happy with how my senior year went. this is so weird to be saying, but next week I'm graduating. So, like I said, this video is compiled from like, I think 3 different weeks just to get the classes sort of filmed in a similar way that I would actually go to them. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next videos to come. Bye.